as of late, but has yet to prove themselves in terms of consistency here now. And in this matchup, it'll be a good place to do it. Complexity, still a new leader jumping into the fray for them, and struggling overall throughout the course of this season. If we could see Complexity dominate this one, they'll certainly be looking strong for those remaining matchups, including tomorrow's game versus the Renegades, which is probably going to be one of their tougher remaining maps. But it is looking like now that the players have readied up, so it is time to jump into it. CLG will be starting off on the T side, and Complexity will jump into the CT side. Let's get into it and take a look at who's going to win this. So you say split, right? So this first map here, do you see CLG taking this one or Complexity more taking this one?
What's the second map, actually?
Off the top of my head, I don't have that info in front of me, actually. You caught me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either.
Yeah, I'd have to go check it out real quick. I'll get it in a minute, but we do have CLG probably going to go for a pretty... Well, just overall, assuming this is like a best of one or whatever, who would you say takes this one?
Honestly, I don't know why, but I'm leaning Complexity's way.
Complexity.
Even though they got destroyed by Immortals.
Well, that's certainly a good start. Oh, Desi gets a third. Def is okay. 4 kills out of nowhere from Complexity. And all of a sudden, it's down to Ricky to trade. He can only get 1. Yeah. And just like that.
The playstyle is going to be so much different than what they saw from Immortals. Like, CLG doesn't have those type of players that Immortals has, where they could just say, hey, run out B, you know, run out here and just kill people. You know, they don't have an FNX, they don't have a Henny to make like shots like that and whatnot. They just don't have those type of players. And I think Complexity is just going to be so much more comfortable playing on that CT side versus how CLG is going to play. That I think there's going to be a lot of potential for coL to make it 4v5 and kind of break that type of play style from CLG and kind of leverage that into a victory. We'll see though.
Yeah, into the second round, CLG have forced into it since they kind of got wrecked in the pistol there. They are just going to be limited with everybody except for Kusta, obviously, due to the upgraded pistols and armor. And we do see them, pretty much everybody except for 2 that I imagine are going to go for a drop split, pushing in towards A-Long early on here. Very minimal resistance on A-Long in itself. Slemmy's here, just tossing out a smoke, as you can see. I doubt it's really going to hold back CLG for too long, though. Plenty of time left to actually make their execute go. And for both Ethan and Ricky, they wait patiently on top of drop, where there, I think, is actually some active presence from the coL camp, as you do have Def sitting inside of there, wanting to counter that back out. So that is going to send both Ricky and Ethan back over to regroup with the main push over at A-Long right now, as they will end up just kind of grouping up and playing it together to swing into that site. Problem is going to be his rotates for over towards that A site, even though it is just 1 in the site right now. They are going to be able to very quickly make it 2 and even 3, as I think even from his position now, Android can probably spray them on the cross from the door. Slemmy gets dinked right at the start, though, so that's not necessarily the best way to end up in this matchup right now, as Kusta will catch the first kill. No trades against them as of yet. Android and Def both together now over here on the balcony, as Android catching 1, Desi with a second. They are bringing it back. Still going to have to eliminate Cutler. That's a great nade. It should do good damage to him, but actually it bounces back out, so it's not necessarily going to be the case. FNS and Kusta finding 2 more pickups. We're going to be even back out, and his teammate trying to assist now as FNS does swing out looking for 1 more addition. Kusta getting his 3rd kill, but Def trading back onto FNS leaves this down to a 1v1, but Kusta gets greedy, goes into the open, and that's where Def will shut it down and give Complexity their 2nd round.
Wow. I don't know why coL is playing with 2 players towards drop when they haven't even come close to getting down drop, and just leaving Slemmy alone on the site all by himself to just get overwhelmed and swarmed. Like, they don't need to take those type of risks on a round like this. And it almost comes to just really, really hurt them. And it really does. CLG should buy this round. They didn't invest anything in that 2nd round, really. So they're going to buy up. They're going to get AKs, umps, and a Tech 9. So they could definitely contest and win this round. Complexity, Slemmy, and Surreal on umps. The rest on M4s.
Yeah, and pretty quickly just leading this into their default playstyle now, since there's obviously, if they can break Complexity out here just on a normal gun round strat, then they're going to start off with the advantage. More than likely that'll break coL, allow them to immediately tie up the matchup and keep this close right from the get-go of things. Slemmy as well being challenged once again. And tagged down, just like the last round here, to 50 HP. Thankfully, he does have some assistance this time. I think it's Surreal playing inside of the suicide steps that's going to be able to help him out a little bit. But coL, not even, getting close to a real commitment over towards A-Long yet. Really just a couple players poking in, looking to see if they can get some intel or find out if the CTs had pushed back out. They didn't really find a player there, but they lit him for half HP. And off of that, now the rest in those B-halls are going to start to swing back over to regroup. And again, deploy this push, probably at the ramp and through A-Long into the site.
Yeah, and they should win this round. I mean, Complexity's setup is, I don't agree with how they're playing at all. I think they should have taken some map control somewhere, taken some type of a risk. Instead, they're just letting CLG do whatever they want.
Yeah, Ricky swinging up really quickly. All the attention for the CTs is over here at A-Long, where Kusta just destroys both
now
of them.
Need to save. Do not go for the trap.
Android at the very least gets 1 kill, but that may spur them on now into trying to pursue this, even though it is going to be a 4v3. Smoke back out. Most of their players, I mean, even smoked out towards heaven right now. The only way they have back into the site without having to go through a smoke is going to be inside of that shed. But finally, CLG pushing forward, getting up onto the site as they do clear it back out. They'll be safe to go for the plant. They are working this back, however, now evening it up as Def picks up a kill on Kusta, and Def even being out on the site. If he can find an additional pickup here onto Ethan, that's going to be their way back in. Ethan catches that kill, Desi with a trade, and he gets the second. Now it's on FNS, but he's found one, and he knows that Desi's up close here. He hasn't jumped on the bomb just yet, but FNS is unsure of this, so he has to peek it to confirm that, and now the stick has come back in, but FNS, where's the peek? He is going to go for it, and he clutches it out, so CLG seal that round away, and we go 2 for 1 at the start of the map.
Yeah, and now Complexity is going to be on a save. I mean, that's a 3v5 retake scenario on the A site. They're very fortunate that they were even able to make it into a 1v1. Like, generally speaking, they're just going to get destroyed when they try to actually retake that site. The post plant wasn't very good on CLG. They win the round regardless, and now Complexity, they could have got exits. They could have, you know, possibly won this round and rebroke CLG's economy. And instead, that poor decision to go for it puts them in, you know, a bind.
Yeah, now we do have Kusta stuck behind the rock here. Actually, is Complexity just going to get aggressive this time, but it doesn't matter. CLG are able to hold it back out, just completely destroying the defenses here. And now all you have left is the one player that was assigned to watch for B. It's Desi, stuck in drop, maybe able to surprise one. In fact, he does catch that kill into Ethan, but now running out. If he just goes for it blindly here, Ricky's going to be able to catch him. And actually, no, misses the opportunity, but Desi actually getting way farther than I would have expected he would have got. Smokes out the other direction, knows he's being chased by someone on the other side, catches that kill on Ricky. All of a sudden, this is back down to a 1v3. Finds himself a different SMG with a little bit more ammo to play off of, and re-smokes himself off here to stay alive. CLG, though, just focusing on the objective now as they do run away from this one, and they'll leave FNS to try and battle out if necessary. But the other two back up to the A site where they're going to plant, and at most, Desi is just going to end up probably saving over here on this site now.
Yeah, I mean, good job getting these 2 kills, an ump kill as well. So making something and getting a couple kills out of basically nothing. Takes out both their SMGers, keeps CLG's economy a little bit low, but I mean, it's crazy to me, man. We watch, you know, SK, we watch Cloud9, and they save in these situations where they're supposed to. And it's not a difficult concept to grasp. It's very basic. And we just see time and time and time again. These players go for these 2v4s, these 3v5s, and just end up really just hurting their economy to the point where they're doing so much more harm than good. And with how strong the ump is, and with how strong the Mag 7 is, you could save these guns and put together a great round in the upcoming round, you know, where you give yourself a good chance to win.
But Complexity do end up just bringing out the one rifle from the previous round there. May be enough, however, to push them over the brink to try and buy into it. Look at the replay there onto the utter domination against Complexity. The only player that makes an impact that time is Desi. And it is going to look like that the gun will just get tossed over to Def now as the rest of the team buys back in with just light pistols for this round. CLG obviously still rolling with a full buy here and pretty directly already moving themselves out, but they will be smoked on their approach to the B platform. They're going to have to hold themselves for a few extra moments before they do go for it. Overall, won't be too worried about that, though, as once again, with the exception of Def, the most expressive buy they're working against is P250s, and, or excuse me, is going to be the UMP. They're sitting now on Android as Def has lost himself and is trying to pick a target, but CLG actually making quick work of him as well. So they down that up for the second time. Ethan just follows through with the elimination of Desi. This should be the site going under their control. Unless they slip up against these rock players, Slemmy kind of rolling out there, catches one trade, but that's it. Ricky takes him down afterwards, and CLG now take the lead. Yeah, and
Complexity not inspiring too much hope so far, Blue. Their decision-making, how they almost lost to Glocks, essentially. And a couple, like a Deagle and a Tech 9, and then not saving those guns in that round. It's not doesn't inspire too much confidence.
So we've got ourselves into another gun round, however, and this does include an op for Surreal, or CLG have not even really had to go for theirs just yet. Fast play again out towards the platform. Complexity are going to respond to that in kind as they do back away over behind the boost-up box. Ricky even getting himself all the way towards Broken too. Complexity re-aggress a little bit, pushing their players forward up towards the steps and whatnot. Def just holding in that cubby instead. And Def completely, or excuse me, not Def, Slemmy completely blinded back out. Def is actually the only one that's able to frag out here. Desi helping out too. Unfortunately, Desi has to save the day again as he gets his second kill on the round here, bringing it into a 1v2. That 1v2 may be entirely impossible for Cutler to pull back off. He is going to attempt to, I imagine, swing over through A and see if he can flank these guys through the main doorway. But if that fails, he'll be dead quickly, and it'll be Complexity claiming this round. Yeah,
it's very difficult for him to take any, engagement where he's not flanking somebody. So he's going to flank and hope he can just hit somebody in the back of the head and then make it a manageable situation. Because if he just goes out upper with 20 health, his odds are pretty low of being successful.
Surreal. He's actually looking towards drop room right now, so he's not going to be paying full attention to this lurk over here. And so long as Cutler remains quiet and he checks this corner, he may be able to get this first kill for free. Walking into it, though, Surreal does check for the door push. And off of that, Complexity do close out.
Yeah, so good sight hold from Desi, and he's really improved on what we saw last night, where he was having a really, really rough game. I believe this might be his own smoke that he's actually sitting in. I think it's a long way. I think I've seen him throw it in rank S before. So you can kind of, pop that down when an execute happens. There might have been CLG smoke, but I do think it's his own.
Well, now we do have, again, the rebuy rolling out for Complexity, and it includes an op sitting onto Kusta, so we may see that up-on-up battle come into play a little bit more actively, but probably later on in the round is where you are going to see that, as in the opener here. Just a bit of a in contest between both teams. We have some players on Complexity pushing out towards A-Long to hold control there. Doubt CLG are actually going to push for it, though. This is just sort of like a default opener to make sure they can punish any CT aggression. Cutler looking like he may creep up towards it here, but we're going to wait and see in a moment as the other two players on the team are stuck in those B halls. They'll potentially go towards either site. Molotovs and everything being pushed in from A-Long, and we do actually see a peek coming out from Kusta now. Fortunately, smokes, flashbangs that get in the way, but Kusta gets tagged, but he reads into it and hits the shot, and now is just barely going to be able to escape with 6 HP. Hitting that first kill, though, is now going to initiate the drop play from the other two on CLG here, as at least one of them moves towards it, and that is going to be Ricky, I do believe. The other is pushing out towards Broken Wall, but Surreal is here, and he can see over that smoke just slightly. I think they do realize that there was FNS also moving past it. Make sure that he will not be spotted out. And as the smoke starts to fade away, Surreal having no choice but to back out himself and prepare for what could be an incoming hit onto this site. Is, keep in mind, Complexity also re-aggressed that through A-Long, so they know for sure it's not coming to A. The remaining other 3 players are going to be set on this site to defend it, and all the possibility of a flank on its way. Surreal, though, hitting that first shot. That's Ethan gone down. The response is so far behind. They do flash out the shotgun player at Broken Wall, but they can't actually get it onto the platform. Slemmy now initiating the flank, picks up 1 kill. It's down really to just Kusta here after Android just snipes out FNS with the shotgun. Kusta stuck as well with only 8 seconds remaining. I think they are going to try to run on the timer a little bit, but no, Android again, pretty long range for the shotgun, but it gets him the kill with a headshot, and Complexity close out the round. Yeah,
only 6 HP on Kusta there at the end, and that 4v5, Complexity doesn't rotate at all towards A. Slemmy tells them to hold their ground, and I think they even got a quick flank. So good sight hold by them. Android playing up close to the Broken Walls. That first kill that Surreal got was extremely important. They threw good counter nades to delay them, and everybody reacted appropriately.
Now, Slemmy rolling back up here. FNS just walking in through mid connector and taking down Slemmy, however.
Why was he so late?
I don't know.
By the time he got to long A, there were 4 people in the halls.
So that will give a free rifle over to the CLG side, along with free A long control, which is now really going to send things up in the air for coL here. Thankfully, we would hope anyway, that because of the fact that it's still a P250 round, it's going to be easily recoverable for Complexity, but we've also seen rounds like this lost as well today. So we don't want to count CLG out just off of their bye. They do decide, it looks like, to follow through with this aggression, and more than likely they're going to end up executing into A, but that will be after quite a bit of delay, it seems, as they're still taking quite a long time to have everyone sort of group up. Kusta hiding within his own smoke here to see if any one of the CTs wants to move back out and him being able to punish that. Def really curious here, but that could lead to his own death, as keep in mind they have that rifle now, and there you go. Cutler catching a kill. Surreal missing the first stop shot, does pick up the second, but now he's restricted a little bit. Thankfully, Android also being able to exchange from the doorway here and get aggressive to pick up a second, going for the 30. Knows there's one in the alleyway, but that is where he's going to meet his match. Cutler continuing to pick up kills with the M4, brings us back down to another 2 versus 2. Surreal Still trying to hold from the safe plant position. It's CLG that really need to make this next move here. They've only got 20 seconds left, and as they go for it, Desi and Surreal shut them both down, trying to push out of the alley.
Yeah, but again, on their full eco round, essentially, I mean, only one person even had half armor there in coL. They end up getting 3 kills and just crushing the economy of coL. So CLG having a lot of success on these rounds where they're not even investing anything and just kind of attacking Slemmy at long A. And now look at coL's money. That it's just, if they would have won that round clean, they would have been able to buy even if they lose this round. And now, if they buy after, the buy is going to be terrible.
Surreal getting tagged up quite a bit here too, as now CLG are going to push their way in. coL taking a big risk and down to 30 HP after he pushed the Molotov, but it's not only him, they got to kill. Ricky picked one up too, and they've got another CT currently restricted to the alleyway. And look at this Ricky, just dropping his way in, third drop, continuing to wreak some havoc here. Finesse finds Slemmy, that's it. coL completely dead on the ground here. All they have left is Def and Drop, and that's CLG right back into the fray of things, as they're going to be able to fight back and realistically try to tie this game up more than likely in the next round.
I mean, that was like really bad by Slemmy. I know we weren't watching a screen, but that should have, he shot probably 20 bullets into coL, who had like 30 HP, and then just started running away from him for some reason. It should have been a couple kills for him, to be honest.
But not panning out so well for Slemmy at this point. As now we do end up seeing Complexity having to go on to a full save here. CLG more than likely going to end up having an easier time with it. Still a usual split as well from coL. They haven't tried to gamble it or anything like that. They're not even really trying to play close contact. That's going to change up a little bit now, as you can see Dev trying to keep over towards the steps. Ethan's watching out for that though, so if he continues forward for too long here, we're just going to walk right into the crosshair of Ethan, give him a nice early kill for the guys on CLG. coL also finding himself one on the other side of the map there, eliminating Slemmy. Once again, now the 5v3, really the world is CLG's oyster at this point, as they can go anywhere, and it's going to be relatively easy to take control of the site, lock it down, and win out the round from that point forward. They find another player drop. Android actually does sneak in a kill there. Short-lived, however, as Ricky, again, much like we've seen on these eco rounds in the past, immediately trading it back out. And now just leaving 2 up and rolling. They already know where one of them is positioned at. coL struggling a little bit there, but he does get the kill on Surreal. So now it's just going back over towards Drop, just general B area, and trying to eliminate Desi, which isn't even really going to be a priority. They know how well he was able to hold off last time. It is just solo FNS trying to creep towards it right now. And actually, they're both going to walk past each other without seeing it. FNS in 4x3 a little bit there, but he spotted him now. I was thinking about knifing him for a second, but thought better of it. Now it's having to pay the consequences for that delay, which is really just an extra like 3 seconds wait there. As he still gets the kill, and indeed we do end up in a tied situation, 5-5 for both teams.
Yeah, and I mean, Complexity's money still sucks, and I think they would have won this half like already with like, you know, 7 rounds, and if they could have just not lost so many people on these full ecos by CLG. But CLG just goes A, and they just, you know, kill Slemmy with just Glocks and P250s.
Yeah, we can see CLG are once again going to try to go for a pretty quick deployment out on B. The players outside really just trying to toss in smokes and whatnot. And here we go, Molotov's up on top of Boost. Desi going to try to play it close as Complexity again really probably not going to be able to hold off too much here. Desi just starts blind firing into the smoke, but actually getting a pretty good amount of damage out there, tagging a few players for about 20 and then bringing Ethan down to do 26 overall. It's enough to hold CLG back after they just deployed all that utility. So now this is actually going to leave the site relatively open for Complexity to respond to these pushes. When CLG finally do decide to re-aggress, they're definitely still going for a B hit. They've showed no signs of rotating off of it anytime soon. So in they will go in a moment. They do catch the first kill there. They'll have to take it just a tad more slowly now. Still working out in their favor, however, as they systematically clear out the drop room. And in a moment, I'm sure the platform's going to get pushed. They can kind of wean out here and eliminate players that are on the site. coL getting caught out a tad. One of the players pushing in for the doorway, but that's the site player gone down. Surreal, as expected, sort of will trade out one player there against coL, but again, just instantly goes back down afterwards, and CLG now take the lead.
They take the lead. They have a ton of money in the bank, too. Complexity gets on their full buy. It's a pretty good one at that. But, I mean, we'll see if I'm CLG, I just keep attacking A, though. Like, Slemmy's 3 and 10. I've been P215 them. You know, I'm saying, like, I'm at least sending 1 to 2 players here every single round. That's what I'd be saying right now.
Well, for the moment, they're going to be keeping their pressure towards B early on in these rounds here. Ricky, first up to bat, even inside of a Molotov, just goes for it. Oh, he catches players boosting too, so he's got that intel. He can look for that player, easily isolate him. Nicely played by Ricky. They know they got more drop. They don't even think they realized how far Ricky's pushed back in yet either, so he escapes with a third one as well. There you go, Ricky dominating again, just like one of the last gun runs, and that's it. Surreal and Slemmy aren't even going to attempt this. They're just going to save.
I mean, the way Complexity loses rounds on coL is just a lot of the time, like somebody just goes and flanks everybody. Somebody just gets 3K, somebody gets a 4K. Like somebody just jumps out through B and does that, or somebody jumps down drop and kills 3 people in the back.
Ricky literally did that same thing on drop like 3 rounds ago.
Yeah, and it's just like that's not how you should be losing rounds. But Complexity just. Maybe they should start redoing this map. Their CT side is rough.
It's NA though. It's just like the.
You can't veto coL.
No, you can't.
No, it's actually against the ESL rules.
This is the one map that must be played. It must be once a night.
Yes.
You either have to play it yourself or convince the other 2 teams to play it for you.
Valve has them contracted.
They're actually they're not only playing in the league, they're play testing the map as well. Well, it looks like there is going to be a pause call from the Complexity side. Somewhat expected at this point, as CLG have come up in huge fashion to take the lead. And actually, excuse me, it's a CLG pause, tactical pause being taken at this point. So, oh, sorry, nope, wrong again. It was Complexity, indeed, as I said originally, that ended up taking the pause here. So they're going to be needing a timeout, taking a seat back to figure things out, as clearly the defenses on really both sides now are just not working out in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, what have we seen from Complexity, though? Like, besides just playing a complete default, what have we seen?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
Yep. I think they 1 or 2 rounds they like flanked through like you go pushing out A long and then going through the B halls. But that was it. That was the only other thing I saw from them.
Nothing clever. No B smoke to push. And it's like Slemmy's supposed to be their in-game leader and you know, whip these guys into shape and get them playing like a brand of CS, right? Where it's not just everybody doing their own thing. But then we see it's CT side coL, which is a map where you could do a lot of clever things on CT side. And we see nothing. It's just a complete default every single round.
And it's going to be that same thing again, another 3-2 split. They do abandon A long a little bit more and are instead going to put much earlier pressure onto the mid connectors. So again, that flank that I just mentioned before is another possibility that they could open up here. But no, both are going to abandon. It's a real good shot, but again, traded back out. That's been the systematic problem here so far, because they're unable to stop themselves from being traded after every single kill happens. Smoke wall as well. Should allow Ricky to go for this play, but that's actually a bit risky when you consider how close Desi is to that situation. Thankfully, doesn't get a good read as to where exactly the bomb's being planted, and not only that, but Cutler going to get killed. So will FNS and Ricky work together here on the sidewalk. They'll be able to isolate another one. Rotations have already arrived, but everyone's being eliminated here. Android wraps himself into a kill, but he's got 2 more to go. There's the second, however. 1 more to eliminate against FNS, but he's caught pushing to the bomb, and that's where FNS is going to clutch out that last 1v1 and continue the rampage for CLG as they push up on 8 now.
Yeah, just a B smoke wall. They flash over, they get in their faces quick, force the bomb down. Android gets a nice couple kills here, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 3v1, and it's planted for FNS, who smartly runs through drop and flanks connector.
Well, now CLG sending their players, again, over here towards A long. They're actually going to be probably pretty fast about this, too, moving in. Molly's in the way. Cutler doesn't seem to matter too much. He can still peek into it, partially past the smoke. The thing they are going to have to be careful of, though, as you can see, is that 4-man stack, both in the suicide and right outside on the ramp there. Granted, it's with pistols, as Complexity did have to buy down this time around. But that can still be dangerous if you underestimate the situation there. And you're definitely not, most of the time, going to be expecting to find 2 players stacked up inside of the suicide steps. There you go. Ethan doesn't even check it, so Slemmy escapes with that first kill. They'll respond with a nade toss in. Actually, really decent damage done to both Android, a little bit onto Slemmy. Elsewhere on the map, Ricky eliminating Desi. So they'll have open B control in a second. More than likely, they're going to end up backing away from this A-long pressure and mid-pressure point and just end up going into the B site. As we can see, Kusta catching another kill here, too. They are slowly sort of just locking things down in the B site and making sure they have it fully secured before they do decide to make that decision and swing the bomb over in that direction as well. Def, in the meanwhile, did find himself an AK pickup, so he's armed a little bit better here. Maybe one of the few things that can actually save out complexity now. Their strat was figured out. They didn't really catch it early enough, but Surreal goes down here. Close battle. Ricky is caught peeking into the open, but the door itself is still smoked off a little bit. Now with the elimination of Def, you're looking at Slemmy trying to pull off a 1v4 clutch, armed only with a Deagle currently. He's probably going to be able to pick up that AK, but at this point, it might be better worth falling back to save it to save his team a little bit of money in the long run. And that seems to be the choice he is taking now. He's going to get pushed around the corner here. Good pop flash, works out then timing at the very least in a really great way for him. So secures that kill into FNS, gets a second one now. At the very least doing some good damage, but unfortunately we're on the 14th round, so that's really not going to matter that much.
Yeah, so Slemmy will say this AK. I'm thinking, I mean, I don't understand why. Like, for instance, that round when they had 2 umps today, right? Yeah. It's like, why do you just basically play a default setup when you know they're buying AKs? I would have assumed if I was them that they had 5 AKs on the T side, and they just play like 2 umps a day and they don't do anything clever or anything like that. Or why would you even have 2 umps a day in that situation? Why don't you put one of them in drop? You know, give yourself the best possible chance just positionally to win the round, even if that means like taking a risk or, you know, pushing somewhere like upper B and getting B plat control and, you know, smoking deep and mauling deep and stuff like that. Like, we're seeing none of that from Complexity. Yes. Finally, we're seeing something where they do something clever, where they smoke B deep, they molly it, and look at how much space that's creating. You give Ethan down to 23 health. You're delaying their strat, right? You're like putting pressure on them. This is what you need to see.
The pressure is indeed going to lead to a lot of delay in the overall CLG strat. They are looking for other options over towards A long too, and Kusta gonna go for the early peek over towards the drop room. He'll have to find himself in a battle versus Android and Desi possibly as well pretty quickly here. Both are sitting on the precipice of being able to push back in. They look away for the flash, losing Kusta in the process. Ricky is able to trade, and I think he realizes that the second player is here as well. We're looking at it from Peter's perspective, so we don't know if both peeked in directly, but I think they did. As we can see, Android taking a little bit of damage, so Ricky paying attention to that. Obviously just trying to make sure he didn't get flanked from the window position either. Now he's going to go for the reapplication of the smoke, but Android decides to push past it. Or at least pushes directly into it to try and pre-fire into the position from Ricky. Unsuccessful, however, as Ricky has now fallen back, and the remaining 4 from CLG are going to make a bid for A. Most of them going through the mid-connector. We have seen Cutler already work his way all the way up A long, though, so he's cleared that out. He's able to call the positioning. Molotov goes inside against Slemmy, forcing him out. Basically the free kill against Slemmy there, as there's not much he can do against that. Good trade from Surreal. Android finding not 1 but 2 as well. It's Cutler trying to clutch. He gets 1. He should know the general position of Android based on the kills from before, but he's still going to have to actually hunt down the kill, and now he's got to be careful of this. The Heaven guy wraps in, gets that kill. Can he actually get back up on the site? It's not going to matter. Tagged by Def, which is actually really cheeky when you think about the situation we're in right now. This is probably going to trigger Cutler a little bit, because he probably could have won that if he went for the kill instead. But regardless, we end up in a 9-6 situation here with CLG having the lead. Stick with us, guys, in the second half is going to be coming up in just a moment right here at the ESL Pro League.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Legion Lenovo, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
And we're back again, folks, with CLG having a lead here on Cobblestone, a 9-6 advantage. Still room for Complexity to bounce back. Unfortunately, with a pretty lackluster CT side there, it is going to be tough to see that happen, especially now with them going on a T side where, you know, with creativity being not essentially their strong suit on the CT side, I imagine it may become a problem on the T side too.
I mean, there's just, I was talking about it during the break, like there's zero adjustment. Just zero adjustment. Even going back to yesterday, like Vendetta was talking about after the, you know, during the analysis segment yesterday versus Immortals, Immortals went B like every single gun round. And they never adjusted. They never did anything clever. They never made the round easier on themselves by taking a risk or anything. You know, forcing the T's to do anything. And it's like, I mean, you have Slemmy, who's supposed to be like this really smart in-game leader. You know, he was on Cloud9 in-game lead. All this stuff, right? Like, everybody praises him. But then there's zero adjustment. I mean, it's ridiculous to me. Like, you just have 2 umps a day that one round. Why don't you put one in drop or something like that? Give yourself a good chance to win the round. Instead, no adjustments, no movement, just a default every single round on CT side, where like the biggest risk they took is, you know, sending an A player more towards drop and leaving Slemmy alone. It's like, and that was against anti-eco, so it made no sense. It's just insane to me.
Well, we're into the next round, or the next half, excuse me, now, with Complexity jumping onto the T side, and pretty directly going to be leading this into probably just direct B play. They've got 2 drop, 3 pushing onto the platform, essentially as straightforward as you can get here now. They're going to go for a quick control, but FNS, nice shots. 2 headshots against both of the drop players, Desi and Android going down. Ricky on the transition room catches a 3rd. Finally a pickup for coL here, as Surreal is going to be able to catch Cutler, but Ricky trading it right back, and now it's just Surreal stuck at the statue. It's not going to last very long either. CLG claim the pistol, and with that, assuming they don't get ecoed here in this next round, we'll be able to secure their lead.
Yeah, so CLG looking good for the CT side of Cobble. Nice shots going out. FNS. Those are tough shots to hit. Makes it look easy. His pistol has gotten a lot better. Every time we're watching him, he has like good pistol rounds for them. He's really improved that aspect of his game.
And Complexity do decide to just go for the usual 2nd round force up here now. And sending, again, another 3-2 split, much more spread out this time, however, as they do send the bomb way over towards A long to take control here, and a few more are going to be playing around with B. Possibility for this to turn into a 3-man drop play, but more likely than not, we're going to see 1 or 2 of them splitting away to regroup in that mid connector in a moment here. But okay, Def peeks out for a moment. Costa just destroys him at range with a UMP. Nicely shot by him. Now we are going to see those 3 actually fully committing to drop, but FNS should have been able to detect at least like 2 or 3 of them based on the sound cues. So he's going to call for that. CLG is going to be ready for that, more importantly, when they do swing out the window. And now Desi left alone in the B halls. Not a whole lot that he can do. More than likely, we are expecting a quick closeout here for CLG to take control of the 11th round.
Rotation, though, by CLG. They kind of give up B. The B guy goes to drop. I believe FNS had his teammate there with him. They send another player towards A because they think they're hitting A. So essentially, they could stomp on drop and then stomp on A and then kind of play reactionary towards B. Hey, yeah, maybe they could take B, maybe they could get to the statue, but we have a lot of utility. You know, we got like maybe some Molotovs. We could retake that if that's the case. But you know, that's like a good rotation. If that's the thought process there. It's like, oh, they showed this guy towards A. There's probably going to be more A. Let's send 3 there. If it's going to be any type of split, they're probably going to come down drop 2. So we shut down those 2 spots and we play reactionary if they come out B. So I really like that by CLG.
It is a team ace from them as well as they pick that round up, and now Complexity go into the full save here. Not going to be expecting anything super crazy from them. And we can expect this one to be a pretty easy 12th from the CLG guys here. They're even getting aggressive with it too, so maybe not necessarily a clean round. As we can see, regardless of the amount of players you just spotted, Cutler still re-peeks into it just to confirm their positions before smoking it back out. And thus seeing Complexity kind of wait things out before they do redeploy into that position. Slemmy down at 19 HP as well here. being tagged out overall. Really just going to be trying to brute force their way into A, more than likely maybe sending 1 or 2 down drop again. But the strat, for the most part, has already been realized now. As we can see in a moment, there's going to be players on the CT side rotating in. Kusta just not as on point with the headshots as we saw in the last round there, but definitely doing some decent damage, lighting the players up at the very least. The combined HP, I think, of the remaining 4 is less than 100 altogether. And overall, while Desi and Surreal are able to trade out a few kills, it is overall still around with CLG control without too much pressure against them. And they bring it up to 12-6 in their favor as we head into the first gun round.
Yeah, and if I'm CLG, the main thing I was paying attention to for those 2 rounds was seeing, you know, what Surreal bought. And if I'm them, I would know that Surreal doesn't have an op. And I think, like, those are, like, the very small cues that you could use to win rounds with, right? Where if you're Kusta in the situation, I know he has an ump, but maybe he drops the ump and he opts upper B and just plays it super aggressive, you know? And then if you do something like that and you have that control, you can leverage that into a round victory. Ricky gets boosted up into drop. We got 2 players around danger. They push back B a bit, so they're going to try to make it 4v5 up here in drop room. Ricky really feeling it right now. I think he's like 24-10 right now.
Yeah, and trying to make this counter boost still work. Despite him being pre-fired back at, he's still going to be sitting here waiting in this position. I mean, just a little bit too low there, so Def is going to get the better of him.
Placement was very off.
So he'll end up getting knocked out first this time, but did 75 damage to Def before going down. Def is going to be a little bit low out here, and instead it goes over towards the platform. Android, though, finding another entry here, and Ethan taking close contact is able to trade out 2 more kills, but leaves himself in the open on the sidewalk, where Surreal is going to be able to pick up another kill. That actually might just secure the round in itself for Complexity.
So what CLG should do here is, I believe they're going to be able to buy next round. They should just, literally, like, they should just get exits. And then just win the next round and they win the game. That is what they should do.
Well, it is looking like they're not going to be listening too much to you there.
No, because nobody wants to play intelligently, Blue, all right? That's what they should do. They should get up drop room. You'll kill anybody coming out upper B easy. You have a guy, you know, maybe in connector or whatever. You're going to get 2 kills, most likely. You're going to get 2 exits that way.
Because then you bring it down to like 1 player most likely.
And then you buy, and you get an op. You know they don't have an op. You get a double op set up with Kusta and Ricky, and you just dominate the round. You make it 3v5 right off the bat. You win the round, and you win the entire game. It's going to be 7-13. Complexity will be on a double eco or a Tech 9 round and then an eco. That's how you should play that.
All right.
It's just frustrating. We see it every like. It's so simple, right? That's simple, right?
Seems like it, yes.
Look,
I've been here for 5 seasons. This is not surprising to me anymore.
I know you're not a baseball fan, but it's like they're like going like they're just these huge home run hitters who hit like 35 home runs a year, but they bat like 100 and 110. Just terrible. Like you would never want that player on your team, you know? It's way better to bat like 300 or 330 with a high on-base percentage and hit 15 home runs, you know? Any idea what I'm talking about?
I had producer talking over your part of that. So,
okay.
So I heard scattered parts of that conversation. I think I got the gist of it, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what... I know how stat-heavy baseball is. I just don't know what the stats mean.
So average is just how often you get on base based off hitting the ball. On-base percentage is how often you get on base from hitting the ball, and also how often you get walked and hit by pitch. Yeah. Or intentionally walked.
Some of them are pretty straightforward, but there's other ones like
oh, there's some
like I don't know, like RBI.
Runs about it in. Yeah. That's just if you hit the ball and somebody rounds the bases and scores, you get an RBI.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a lot of stats in baseball.
There is.
Well, back into Counter-Strike now, as we do end up with CLG having the full buy here. They do manage to get themselves not only a double op setup, but a scout as well. Interestingly, comes out onto FNS this time. Kusta challenging early on. He does hit Desi through a wall a little bit, and is going to get the finishing blow with the nade, taking down Desi. Not only this, but Ricky found that additional kill against Def early on here. So fast 5v3 advantage going by the way of CLG. And now Complexity going to have to make up for it. They do get free drop control and are going to try to move out. The problem is they've sort of trapped themselves now inside of this connector. And they're going to have to try to find a way to battle back out at it. Nade goes in.
Never mind.
Okay. What?
Nade goes in, Nade comes back.
Oh, I guess it hit that wood thing there. That really messed with my head for a second. I guess that makes sense. As Ricky is going to be creeping back up towards the area right below Heaven there. and trying to see if he can catch them trying to push towards it. But Complexity, like I said before, they did find themselves kind of trapped. So now they're going to have to leap back in. Ricky with one, really only going to be able to get one there.
It's good enough. He spotted both players. Cutler's already here. If Cutler plays this right, it's going to be a very easy round for CLG.
So
and he is. He has them contained. He's waiting for his player at middle. If they just wait, they take their time, they have 2 kits, it's going to be very easy for them to close this out.
Cutler just trying to make sure that none of them push back out before he initiates the retake. Same thing for Ethan over here. Heaven was smoked back off, so that is not going to be an option right now for the other 2 rotating in from B. But look at how much free room FNS is getting. Just flicks onto a headshot against Android. Slemmy, though, keeping himself in this. That missed shot will spell his doom, however. And Ethan closes out for CLG as they push up 13.
What? Somehow we killed FNS too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, I know he got 2, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got 2.
But yeah, so that was very nicely played from CLG. Not panicking, understanding they know where both players are, waiting their smoke out in Heaven so that they have to watch it, waiting their Molotovs out from Complexity, and then they just pinch on them together, and they really gave no chance for Complexity to pull out a miracle and win that round. Now Complexity, they have 2 AKs, 3 Tech 9s. If CLG would have got a couple exits, we'd probably see just all Tech 9s, but...
But yeah, CLG are going to try to force into this round now, as obviously they're kind of up against the wall, down by 6 rounds. CLG really only needing 1 or 2 more to seal the deal here, make it impossible for Complexity to come back. It is looking like, while they will deploy a lot of utility early on into the B-bomb site, this is going to be an elaborate attempt at a fake. Everybody else already backing out outside of the mid connector, and are going to try to redeploy pretty quickly towards A. That was smoked out, though, so they've got to wait a few more seconds. And more than likely, CLG may just send someone aggressively up on a platform to read into this, or at the very least, Kusta is going to be able to hear all this noise about to work its way up ramp. He spotted those heads. Rotations are on the way, but he's got to be careful himself now. Swinging out, missing the shot. He is trapped, missing a second shot up in his face. Takes way longer to see him killed, but immediately now FNS out into the open, but he only gets 1 as well. Ethan, he's got a frag out here without getting traded. They find 1. They got to back up, though, as Complexity are sending a lot of pressure in this direction. They've scavenged the op, which Surreal's already using to pick up additional kills here now. That's going to be leading to the drop of Ricky. Now 2 left alive. Both trying to push their way out of the door. Death trading out into 1 of them. It's all on Cutler. Out of ammo, but he found another M4 on the ground, so he's still got some to play with here. As he creeps up, still looking to try and take down Surreal. The observers almost scared me for a moment when they turned off the X-ray. I thought he got the kill for the tree. But no, it is Surreal that gets the final kill there. So Complexity win it out and get to stay alive for a little bit longer, as CLG will be forced onto a save here.
Yeah, Kusta kind of failing a bit there. I usually expect him to connect on a couple kills there, and honestly, if you get that first one and then that guy pushes you and you kill him and you probably stay alive, I mean, it's going to be an easy CLG round win, but once he gets overwhelmed and dies, that site is just so difficult to retake, especially when they're up close, underneath Heaven and whatnot, that, you know, you don't have much chance. So CLG kind of force buys here. They got double scout, FNS pushing up pretty close. Flash bails out, you know, I believe that was Surreal.
Complexity just basically sitting here and holding out inside of those B halls. So waiting to try and appropriately apply pressure to drop, which they're going to be able to do now after they catch Ricky in a position tossing out a nade. So drop is open for them, just waiting a few moments here before they do move in towards it. And the rest of the team probably going to follow suit onto the platform in a second. They still have a guy over towards mid-connector. I think it's Def trying to lurk. That doesn't go so well, however. Kusta eliminates him. So everybody else that's still up and running for CLG already having positions in the B-bomb site. They're going to know for sure, obviously, that the play is coming here. They can just have that CT player on A push directly back out. Nice shot up close from FNS there to pick up that first kill against Android. There's a lot more to be done, however, and Surreal trading out into 1. The same problem for FNS is Surreal finds a nice double kill. Kusta's left as the last man standing, but with an AK, it is going to be better for him to fall back and save.
The scout E-box hold. FNS makes it work.
Apparently.
Yeah, I think this game would be over, though, if they would have, you know, like done that thing and then... Well, I mean, they did lose it to the Tech 9s and the AK. But CLG, after forcing there, their economy is going to be reset, so they should be saving this round. And then we'll see if they decide to buy the next round. I'm assuming they will. See how much FNS purchases as well. Because if they want an op in that round, he's going to have to save.
Yeah, but Complexity not moving out here to hunt down Kusta at all. They are just going to sit in the site, sort of expecting him to make a move, but
Yeah, but again, I mean, if you're gonna buy that round that they just bought at, they should have saved the 2 M4s when it was a 2v3, in my opinion. They should have.
Well, now they have kind of put themselves into a sour situation, as it has opened up a possibility for Complexity to get back into this game. Yeah. We'll need to see at least 1 or 2 more gun rounds go their way for that to become a reality. But 4 rounds is certainly something that Complexity can very easily accomplish here if CLG continue to overplay some of these situations. And again, we can see the nice shots from Surreal. Getting a nice little double dip there right at the end. But into the next round we go. And for the most part, CLG is going to end up full saving here. 1 Deagle comes out for FNS. Ethan gets his gun donated over by Kusta that he saved in the last round. And Kusta obviously having the AK, which he saved.
Well, Kusta can just glass cannon on off next round if he wants, actually. I believe so, at least. I think they get 2,400 if they lose this round.
Well, we've got Ethan playing up closer. It's dropped. Def already took control of it. Unfortunately, overpeaks slightly. Mac-10 finds its target and finds the first kill of the round here at the hands of Def. He's actually going to look for 1 more as well. Finesse sitting outside behind the rock. Maybe a little bit too risky. Kusta really hunting for some heads here, having some trouble tracking down Desi, but finally gets his mark, knocks out Desi, brings us back down to a 4v4, drawing in as well the aggression from the remaining A players on CLG's side. They're not going to push in just yet, because there is reason to believe that Complexity may actually fall back from these B hulls and try to swing out the other direction here. FNS, okay, just walks into a kill there through drop somehow. Def trading out 1 more. Now the CTs did push back in, but that could prove to be a fatal mistake, as all of a sudden coL has to hold off this flank with just a measly little USP, but he is holding a position which they might not check for. There's 1, tries to go for the second, but doesn't work out, and now Kusta's left with a 1v2 to deal with, and he is chasing down this flank right now, trying to pursue them through that mid connector, which is not going to work out so quickly for him. This is going to have to be a much more long and drawn out play, and hope that Complexity don't position players to watch out for this sort of a flank. But with 2 players already being found out there before, there is suspect to believe now that Kusta would take the same route. He pushes back in. Def is certainly watching for this, and as he moves up top in a moment, if he doesn't check for it, the door may be his death if he chooses to push past this without looking towards it. And there you go. Down at 54 HP. He does get the kill. 27 as well. Time running low. He does not have a kit to play with. He does just have to go directly towards this. The smoke is also being deployed. Slemmy not really playing the game to win this out in the 1v1, but to waste enough time to disallow for the defuse. He may get this kill, but he doesn't even get that, unfortunately. Slemmy wins it out, and with that, Complexity take this round.
Yeah, so I have no idea how that developed. How did Ricky and Cutler, I believe it was, just get behind them and wait for them like that? Did they just flank A, I guess?
They just pushed A.
Yeah, nobody was watching.
Nobody's watching the flanks.
That's
They posted up like the area to the left of here right now, like that upper area, because they were expecting, since Kusta was getting a couple of kills on B, that they might have fallen back.
Yeah, but then how did FNS flank the guy and drop
They moved. I think they tried to go out the window and around to the door, and they didn't have anybody watching the window in case FNS wanted to make a move.
They have 5 people live. What were they all watching?
I don't know.
They don't watch
apparently
box.
Not drop.
They don't watch flank. I
think that was partially timing. I think timing.
They didn't even have anybody watching upper B because Desi went out there by like.
I don't know. Slemmy's gonna find the first kills. We are back into another gun round here. It all goes quiet after that, though. Complexity holding for right now.
Just had their monitors turned off that round.
Kusta's gonna catch an additional kill here too, taking down Def this time. And Desi still creeping up as well. I think the smoke is full coverage. He might be able to lurk around it a bit. No, it looks like it is full coverage. So he'll have to wait on that one for a moment, as the rest of the players from Complexity are going to be looking to redeploy out towards B in a second here. But if we can see Desi causing some havoc here, it may help to keep, at the very least, keep Kusta deployed over there onto the A bomb site. And we can now see the smoke starting to roll out onto B. Players themselves just now pushing past the broken wall, firing off. So I'm a little bit curious as to what Desi's going to be trying to do here, as he still has to kill that player over on the other side. But within the B bomb site itself, a 1-to-1 trade going down pretty quickly, and that's where Desi strikes. Eliminates FNS, prevents the A player from lurking back in, and now he himself can have a chance to flank this back out. However, Kusta, thinking he has a chance there, tries to go for the shot, missing out on that opportunity. Desi finding one. Kusta is able to react to that. He didn't mind the bomb just now going down as well. He still has plenty of time to play this out. He knows the upper miss, so he's going to get aggressive up on the statue. Slemmy sitting just on the other end of it. He really needs to catch a good angle here, because if he peeks Surreal, he might find himself dead. Another missed shot takes the shot at Surreal, but that is going to be his death as Slemmy is finally able to take him down. And all of a sudden, Complexity back into this game, 11-13, with CLG going on to another eco.
Yeah, and Slemmy and Surreal played that very, very well. Even if he kills Surreal with that op shot, like, he literally cannot kill Surreal first, or else he's going to lose the round, because Slemmy's just going to, you know, chase him with the AK, and he's going to be reloading, or, you know, he has an op, so. What's the word I'm looking for after he shoots and he can't shoot again?
Like the cooldown? Or recovery time?
No, not reload. It's like the recovery time, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we not have like a proper name for that?
What, when on the op, right?
Yeah.
He's like re-bolted or whatever?
Yeah.
I guess re-bolting. That doesn't sound catchy.
No, that sounds terrible.
Sounds terrible. I don't know what the actual term is. This is my best guess. Well, Ricky somehow swings out through mid-connector again. They keep leaving these areas of the map open, so Ricky's going to sneak in a kill. Shouldn't really mean too much, though, as obviously the rest of Complexity rolling back in here. Ethan, unless he can pick up some headshots from all the way back at the door, more than likely Complexity are still going to win out this round. They may suffer a few extra losses on exits, but I am not personally expecting for CLG to upset here.
No, they had an opportunity, but he needed to get a kill on B, not just the guy. And Ethan probably needed to get a 1-dig on Surreal, or the other player, in sight. Now it is a 2v2. They have a small chance, but with no kit and such low health, pretty easy for Complexity guys to win this one.
Yeah, so that puts it within one round of tying things up. Now CLG, their worst fear is being realized. Thankfully, they have one more chance to stop it, and it is going to be on a gun round. And it is looking as though that they'll call for a pause here in order to play this round out and figure out how exactly they are going to come out successful.
Yeah, and I mean, if Complexity didn't just lose that round when, actually no, they won it, but you know, it was one alive on that CT side. There was another round that they won when they just like overwhelmed Kusta. Sorry, that was for CLG. But I mean, if Complexity didn't just get so economically like beat on their T side, you know, they probably would have won this game by now. And CLG at the same notion, if they would have played their economy better on the CT side, they'd probably have a bigger lead. So both teams, I think, you know, a close game, but if one of the other teams, like if one of the two teams kind of fix those small mistakes, they'd probably win this game by now.
Well, we've got Complexity pushing their players pretty quickly over here towards the platform again, but this is just the early aggression. Oh, probably going to get boosted up on top of the box. Not looking like CLG's going to send anyone here, however. Maybe having a guy just, you know, you got Ethan up close to Broken Wall, but this is relatively expected. FNS playing behind the boost-up box in a closer position, but Ethan actually does swing up over here behind the box through the steps. So with the smoke in play, the double-up stack has already gone away here now. Surreal is no longer going to be able to spot that player moving into position.
Yeah, and CLG just opting kind of like a default here, but the thing is, it's fine when you do a default. When you have like a full bot and you have like 2 ops like this, you know, I don't have a problem with it. But when you have 2 umps, you know, and like an op and an M4 and like a Mag 7, don't just play a default. You have to do something clever. You have to maybe make it 4v5. You have to give yourself an advantage somewhere. If you just play a default on all those rounds, your chances of winning are so low.
Well, Surreal is going to catch the first kill this round, eliminating Ethan, just burning him out of his position. And he attempts to really commit himself to the kill against Surreal. Unfortunately, is not able to catch him in time, so it's a lost kill, and at the moment remains untraded. Cutler trying to swing it back, but again, same story, only able to get 1. And then we'll be done respectively after that one. Def, though, seemed like he had that position on Kusta, but a great reaction from Kusta. He battles it back, picks up one of his own. He does have to be very careful moving out from this doorway, though. Andrew's waiting on the other side. Kusta's smart, though. He's checking for this, but didn't check the far right side. FNS getting another kill, but also losing a teammate. Now he's got to do double duty, checking behind him, but it works out. And not only does FNS close out onto Android, but we saw Ricky flanking in to take down Surreal. So there's CLG winning up that gun round, and they just barely keep their lead preserved for right now.
Yeah, in this round, if Complexity wins it, they'll be on a tie most likely. And depending on how CLG buys, I mean, they could, this round could, you know, put them at 15 even.
Well, Complexity are also going to actually...
I'm wondering why they didn't pick up that second op. I thought that would be around there. No, I guess not, because Kusa died in connector.
Yeah, that was probably way too far off to be an off treatment type.
Oh, it was. I was thinking Surreal's op, but I'm not sure where he died.
He was up on like Broken Wall. I don't think FNS would have been able to get enough time because Ricky already had the other up.
Probably didn't have enough time for either.
So interestingly,
so Ethan goes there again, but this time he does have a smoke. Yeah. So if he gets burned out, he could. He'll obviously save himself.
But Complexity...
He's just like, what are the chances they do it twice in a row?
And there it is. Throws it out, saves himself. Loses about 40 HP there, so a little over a third.
Why would they throw a broken wall smoke before that, though?
I don't know.
Good question, huh?
Yeah.
Probably get that kill.
They just redeployed it as well. So now it's serving a purpose to try and sell the fact that they're still maybe pushing out towards B. But in reality, as you can see, all 4 players, except for I think Desi, have rotated over to the A site. And Kusta going to buy himself a little bit more maneuvering room here with the smoke, hopefully allowing him just to change up his position a bit more from up on the A platform. The rest of the team following through. We do have quick rotations on the way from CLG, but it's not a full commitment. And what's even worse is Android immediately knocking out Kusta, Surreal taking down Cutler here. Finesse trying to battle his way back in, but it's way too aggressive. Just leaves himself in the open. Def's going to get a kill. A 4v2. There's no way Ethan and Ricky are able to do that, especially with one of them still holding a position on B and having to deal with Desi, who's already hunting down the last 2 players as well. Whoa! Amazing shot from Desi to knock out Ethan. He's only got 1 more to go now, and it's against Ricky. Ricky basically doesn't want any part of this. He's trying to sneak away, but he's got players coming through Broken Wall as well. Peeks into it, gets that kill, and now he's got his path out, but he's got to hug the right side as in a moment. He's going to be re-peeked by a Broken Wall player, gets that frag against Desi. coL left up and running with 2 players at the end of it, but it is appearing as though Ricky's going to be able to escape with the op again.
Yeah, but Complexity, I mean, as long as they don't let Ricky just, you know, win the round for him, he is 33-17 at the moment. So he definitely could for CLG, but if they don't let him beat them, yeah, they should at least tie this up.
Yeah, we are going to end up going into... Yeah, we are going to end up going into another CLG pause here. Obviously some strategizing needed, as their money is in the toilet again. So Complexity does have a pretty big advantage here and could potentially actually just swing this out with 1 more gun round and close out entirely with a 16-14 victory.
Not many umps this game.
No.
And you know, that is a result. I know I was talking about it a lot, but it's a lot of a result of people just not saving. Because that's what you get when you save like an off. What does SK do? You know, they'll be in a 2v3, they'll get like 1 exit, and then they'll save. And they have that op, and then they have an M4 and op, like 2 umps and full utility, and then the opper will make it 4v5, and they'll win the round from there. You know, like that's how you win those rounds. But because these people, you know, just never save their guns, they just, you know, they just get these fully bought rounds every time, and that's really why you don't see them very often.
Well, relatively quick pause again from CLG as they do decide not to force into this round behind the op. They are just going to go for P250s, and for Kusta and Ethan, they don't buy anything at all. They're just going to stick with the default pistols. So Ricky, a lot of pressure on him to make an impact here, and at the very least, if not outright, trying to bring them a victory. Should Complexity, obviously, you know, the fact that they would have to go for B in the first place. But at the very least, being able to knock out a few players here to keep the money a bit lower on the Complexity side. Out they will go. Finesse just can't see anything at all, so not a whole lot that he can do in that situation. Kusta probably going to be suffering from the same fate. Cutler gets a tad of a warning, though, so he at the very least trades in for 1 kill, but everybody else is just getting completely destroyed. The same situation in the last round. The last 2 players alive are restricted to these B halls, and with the elimination of Ethan, Ricky's already halfway through the B halls over there trying to save towards T-spawn, so he's going to be running out of here. He doesn't want any part of this. They need to carry this one into the next round. Complexity is going to be tying it up at 14-14.
Yeah, I mean, CLG's money isn't even going to be great for this next round as well. So Ricky really needs to save this op. Should be getting 1900 here, so it's not going to be that much.
And Ricky not even going to be posting up in like one of the usual spots over here. He doesn't go for the tower, doesn't go inside of the truck, doesn't try to hide over in the garden near the bathrooms or anything like that. He's actually going to take this left side because he knows that they're going to go hunting for him. And this is actually a spot that isn't usually checked out too well, so he hides within it, peeking out to get that kill. However, he's still going to be challenged by Def. He's got to be careful. Jumps up as well, and they kill him in the last second.
You gotta just hide, Ricky.
Def takes him down, and now the op is gone.
That was a crucial mistake.
They're not going to have an op now either. They can't rebuy it. Not even 1. So that's a huge loss there, and it's going to make it all the tougher to allow CLG to once again hold on to that lead.
Yeah, but CLG has 2 umps, so they'll win this round.
Wow, is that a...
It's a guarantee.
You calling that right now?
It's a guarantee.
Is that a call?
Yep.
All right, let's see. they don't have a whole lot of utility to play with here either. They've already
Two FAMASas bring it down, the odds down a lot.
Do they?
That would have been 4 umps. Easy round win. Easy.
Yeah, they needed some long range capability, I guess, even though the ump still works pretty well at long range if you control it.
You just got to burst with it. Can't get in love with Marionette from long range.
Well, Kusta first up the bat here against Def, swinging in, good damage, doesn't get the kill. And in order to preserve his own life, he does decide to molly it back out.
That should have been an easy one for Kusta. Should have been 4v5 and the ump reigns supreme right there.
Well, not the case just yet. He does knock off 2/3 of his health. So having that to play with at the very least, but S is just going to send the rest of coL over towards B. Hopefully now, CLG, the problem is CLG, you know, with that molly, they seem like scared to peek into that, so they're not really going to read this too well. They still, these two guys fully committed to A long, so rotation.
All 5 towards B plat.
So rotations for the CTs is actually going to be quite a lengthy process, which means Ethan and FNS on top of the boost up rock need to do some serious work here, and Ricky needs to realize what's happening and rotate out as well. CLG's A long player still not figuring this out. They're just now sending Kusta back. FNS whipping big time on the initial spray. Ethan getting 2, 3, and 4 from Ethan as he goes massive here. Desi trades out, but now he's against a 1v3 disadvantage here. And as we do see him trying to push forward, Molly into the drop room, that's not going to restrict much. I think they're trying to boost a player up on top of the pizza box too, but no, just stacked on each other's heads right now. As Desi does peek out, they find him out, and indeed, he will not claim any more of the members of CLG. Cutler closes out the round, and just like that, it's CLG preserving their lead once again.
It's a guarantee. I mean,
I guess so, we called it, yeah.
Still, it was a guarantee.
Except for the M4s did most of the work there. But yeah, another pause rolling in here, this time from the complexity side. They're still going to have, I think they can all buy pretty confidently, actually. Except for, actually, no, some of them are pretty low on money, if I'm looking at this right. So we'll see in a second. At the very least, going to get 2 AKs and ump sitting on one of their players, and I'm not sure how they're going to buy for the last 2 just yet, but we'll see in a second. There we go. Yeah, so Slemmy's going to be good to buy on his own. I think it's just Surreal that probably has to have a gun drop for him. But I don't think they can actually afford that, so he's going to just get a Tech 9 instead.
Yeah, I mean, CLG, Ricky just dominating. Destiny really improving on yesterday's performance. He was struggling a lot there yesterday, and playing very well today. Hitting some really nice shots today, actually. A
lot of really good individual performances overall here. Obviously, Ethan in that last round, something to remark on, but Ricky throughout the course of this map overall, dropping a 30 bomb like as of 3 or 4 rounds ago within regulation, being able to pull it off. Currently sitting at 34 overall. So really good performance from him. FNS has had his moments as well. He's over 20 currently. Good stuff here. Now we need to see if this will lead itself into overtime or if it's going to be CLG closing out this map finally, where we thought this was going to be closed out a long time ago, but Complexity were able to battle back into it. They brought it to round number 30. Now they just need one more gun round to push it over the edge. And actually, they don't have a whole lot of utility to try and do this here. So this is going to be, you know, a few Molotovs to try and toss back out here, along with a couple smokes. But for the most part, this is going to have to be a pretty raw take out on the B site. Again, though, the problem is the A site rotator is going to be far away. But Ricky hitting that first kill certainly going to help their case a little bit. FNS is also going to be swinging in from outside, and Ricky trying to call it out. He definitely knows his presence. And Desi, nice shot again. Destroy, just deletes Ricky from the map there, bringing us back down into a 4v4. The rest trying to swing up. They're not expecting the second player. It's messy from FNS, but hey, it gets the job done. The problem is he's going to be chased from the sidewalk. Now it's Ethan's turn to go off again. He gets one down to 88 HP as they try to trade out to him, but he hugs the wall, jumps into it. Surreal will get the kill there. Now we go down to a 2v2, but keep in mind, Surreal heavily injured.
Rotate, though. It's so
That's what I was saying, yeah. Those A-long players, they keep thinking it's coming in that direction, and it takes them a long time to rotate over when they finally do realize it. But thankfully, they had Surreal low. They're able to get that kill, and now Kusta and Cutler just have to eliminate Slemmy. He's trying to go for the plan. That's not really going to be possible, though. You've got to get these last 2 kills in the 20 seconds remaining, and he cannot do it. Kusta will close out on the map for CLG, and they'll take it 16-14.